Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Adamoose, and today in this series called In Depth, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about Vi Jungle.
Boom! Headshot!
Vi is a powerful duelist that has been around in League metas for years. Although she's a simple champion mechanically, understanding how to use her strengths correctly will greatly increase the success you have on the channel. If you enjoy the content, it really helps me out if you could leave a like and comment on the video to help your boy out with the YouTube algorithm. If you want to talk with me and other members in the community looking to improve, be sure to join the Discord link that's in the description. I hope you guys can learn something. Enjoy the video. Vi's passive is called Blast Shield. Vi gains a shield equal to 15% of her maximum health for 3 seconds whenever she hits an enemy with an ability. Every time your W is triggered, the cooldown on your Blast Shield is also reduced by 3 seconds. This is a simple passive that provides Vi with some extra beefiness in combat and while clearing in the jungle. Vi's Q is called Vault Breaker. Vi charges while being slowed by 15% for up to 4 seconds to increase Vault Breaker's range, speed, and damage over the first 1.25 seconds of the channel. This can be recast at any time within this duration. When recast, Vi dashes in the target direction, dealing physical damage to all enemies within her path. The dash stops upon colliding with an enemy, knocking them back in the direction she's facing. All non-champion enemies hit are instead pulled towards her. If the charge channel is cancelled, Vault Breaker will go on a 3-second cooldown. This ability is core to Vi's kit as it serves many different purposes. Not only does it provide her with a great AoE damage tool for farming, this is also her main mobility spell. This can be used to cross terrain, engage fights, or even as an escape. Now it's extremely important to learn her Q flash mechanic, which can be used in 2 ways. First and most common is the Q flash and instant recast, which is used to engage from extra range and catch enemies off guard. The other is the Q flash and hold, which is a fun mind game used to bait out enemy summoner spells and cooldowns before you dash in. Vi's W is called Denting Blows. Passively, Vi's basic attacks and Vault Breaker apply a stack of denting blows to affected enemies for 4 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. The third stack consumes them all to deal bonus physical damage and reduces the target's armor by 20%. After triggering Denting Blows, Vi gains bonus attack speed for 4 seconds, refreshing on subsequent procs. This is a simple ability which greatly increases Vi's DPS and clear speed. The Armor Shred also pairs amazingly with heavy AD teams and can aid in taking down tanks who stack armor. Vi's E is called Relentless Force. Passively, Vi periodically stores up to 2 Relentless Force charges. When activated, Vi's next basic attack within 6 seconds has a non-cancelable windup, gains 50 bonus range, and deals physical damage to all enemies in a cone towards your target. This can also be used as an auto attack reset, which is crucial to make use of since you can use it twice. This will not only increase DPS in combat, but also speed up your clears. Vi's ultimate is called Cease and Desist. Vi singles out a target enemy champion, dashing with displacement immunity towards them, during which they're revealed. When she gets within 300 units of her target, she dashes through and grabs them, knocking them up for 1.3 seconds and dealing physical damage. Enemies within her path are dealt the same damage, knocked aside, and simultaneously stunned for 0.75 seconds. This is Vi's signature ability, which is one of the strongest single target lockdown tools in the entire game. Since this is a point and click spell, the important thing is knowing when to use it. This can be used to focus the enemy carry in a teamfight, to knock back multiple enemies in a line, and most importantly, to pull off some ganks with almost no counterplay. For ability maxing, Vi maxes Q first, E second, and W third in pretty much all situations. For the fastest early clearing setup, W start, E second, and Q third is the standard skill order. Now let's jump right into Vi's best rune setups. Since she has a couple solid options, let's break down each page and its benefits. First off is the Domination tree with either Hail of Blades, Electrocute, or Predator. Hail of Blades is by far the most common, since it easily allows you to stack up your W and burst down targets once you've comboed them. Although less popular, Electrocute is also a strong choice into squishy teams for pure burst damage with a Q auto E combo. If you think you need to force plays in the early game, Predator could be a strong option as well for a heavy ganking style. Although these are all strong, Hail of Blades is the standard page if you want to just choose one. To close out the Domination tree, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Relentless Hunter are your optimal choices. If you're running Predator, Ingenious Hunter is extremely strong as well. Now for secondary, Precision with Triumph and either Legend Alacrity for DPS, or Tenacity against heavy CC teams. If you want a more beefy setup, Resolve with Shield Bash, Conditioning, or Unflinching is a very strong choice as well. Now if you want to play more of a sustained damage role against tankier teams, Lethal Tempo and Conquer are also amazing choices. Now the real question is, which do you choose when? To be honest, there's no real right answer, as top Vi players tend to choose both based on preference. Lethal Tempo provides a ton of attack speed for high DPS and on-hit damage, whereas Conquer provides with some more sustain in extended fights. To close out the Precision tree, Triumph and either Legend Alacrity for more DPS, or Legend Tenacity versus heavy CC teams, and Coup de Grace or Last Stand to finish off. For secondary, the Resolve setup mentioned earlier is most common, although Domination with Sudden Impact and Relentless Hunter can be good as well. For Rune Shards, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and either Armor or Magic Resist based on your jungle matchup and enemy team comp. If you're running the burst builds, double Adaptive Force is the stronger setup. Now that we've gone over runes, let's discuss Vi's best item builds. To start, both Red Smite and Blue Smite are going to be viable options. Red Smite is a better dueling tool into heavy melee team comps, while Blue Smite is a utility option to lock down more mobile, squishy carries. For boots, Plated Steel Caps into heavy AD auto attack based teams, Merc Treads against heavy crowd control, and in cases where you don't need either defensive option, Ionian Boots of Lucidity are a very strong choice in pretty much all games. For Mythics, Divine Sunder is by far the most common and consistent choice for Vi. It provides burst, sustain, and some tankiness, which fits her kit perfectly. If you want a squishier high damage build, Triforce is an okay option, although very risky in my opinion. If your team is lacking frontline and you need to fill that role, Sunfire Aegis is actually a very strong choice as well. Lastly, if you want a fun lethality build, Eclipse can be very strong if you get ahead. Just keep in mind that falling behind means you're going to be completely useless. For core items, Sterak's Gauge, Guardian Angel, Black Cleaver, and Youmuu's Ghostblade are going to be your main options. Sterak's and GA are all around solid defensive choices since you're going to be engaging often. Black Cleaver provides some nice armor shred into tanky teams, and Youmuu's is the go-to lethality option for the burst builds. From this point, your main goal is to build as much damage as you can to burst enemy squishies in duel, while also getting tanky enough to survive engages and soak up some damage for your backline. The best items really depend on the game, so thinking about this in every specific situation is going to greatly improve the success you have. Now let's hop right into Vi's general jungle strategy and pathing. Although Vi's clearing is quite simple, there are still some small tips to increase your efficiency. First, as mentioned earlier, is making use of your E auto attack reset off cooldown, along with spacing your Q in between basic attacks. Another tip is to use your Q versus AoE camps such as Raptors and Wolves to line up the monsters for maximum AoE damage with your E. Since both your Q and E deal AoE damage, focusing your auto attacks on the big monsters will greatly increase your efficiency as well. You can also use this strength to easily farm Blue and Gromp at once, holding them right in the middle for maximum efficiency. Now for actual jungle routes, Vi's strength is definitely not her clear speeds, so understanding how to play around that fact is crucial to your success. Since you start W level 1 for maximum single target DPS, Vi usually prefers to skip camps like Raptors or Krugs early on. This leads to the most common jungle route, the 3 camp clear into either gank or invade. This consists of clearing red, blue, and Gromp, then beginning to look for some early plays. Vi is both a strong ganker and duelist, so anytime you see overextended laners or weak enemy junglers, this can be a great option. If there are no early plays to be made, you can easily transition into a 5 camp clear path. Once you hit level 3, you can then clear back down to your Wolves and Raptors, waiting for Scuttle's spawn. Keep in mind that this is the simplified version, and there are tons of small pathing decisions that you can make. The main thing to remember is that Vi is very strong early on. The challenge is knowing how to use this strength correctly, since this will vary from game to game. Vi's biggest weakness is definitely that her kit can be a bit predictable. This does not matter much in lower elos, but in high elo, it's a pretty big deal. Since Vi's Q has a windup, this gives players time to react and predict your next move. To build onto this, Vi struggles into champions with high mobility and strong dueling. Champions such as Graves, Echo, and Kindred are some of her hardest matchups for this exact reason. Whenever versus those champs, do not overforce engages since they can easily dodge your Q and then turn back onto you and take you down. To add on to this, tanky champions with tons of CC can also give you some trouble when it comes to mid-game fights. Champs such as Poppy and Nunu are very hard to deal with since they can easily lock you down without fear of being killed. Lastly is that Vi falls off later in the game and can be extremely tough to play from behind. Since her kit is focused on targeting out a single member and taking them down, this can get extremely difficult when enemies start building defensive items such as GA or Zhonya's. This means pushing your leads early on is crucial to take advantage of your powerful kit before enemies start stacking defensive tools. Now let's discuss what makes Vi such a powerful jungler in the right hands. First is simply how easy she is to pick up. Since she does not have any difficult mechanics to master, this allows newer Vi players to have tons of success on her in no time. Another benefit to this is that it allows beginner junglers to focus more on decision making rather than on pure mechanical outplays. Vi also has amazing early game ganking and mobility, which gives her tons of options in the first couple levels. Since her Q is both a mobility spell and a ganking tool, this allows experienced Vi players to change up their playstyle on the fly to make use of opportunities that come up in each game. Next is that Vi's single target lockdown and damage is a strength in itself. Squishy champions such as Kayn, Evelynn, Rengar, and Taliyah are pretty much unplayable into Vi for this exact reason. Any champ that relies on being slippery and stealthy will want to uninstall once your point and click ult lands on them. And lastly, Vi has a surprisingly versatile playstyle and tons of build diversity. She can engage, peel, assassinate, or even act as a frontline for your team. She can build to delete squishies with the burst setup, or to kill frontliners with the bruiser build. She can control the map early on with powerful ganking and dueling, and dominate teamfights by deleting important enemy carries. If you're looking for a simple yet powerful carry jungler in the current meta, Vi is definitely the pick for you. That will do it for my Season 12 in-depth guide on Vi Jungle. If you want to support my content, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to keep up with my weekly uploads. Most people who watch are not subbed, and any extra support really helps my channel grow. If you have any questions or opinions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I'll be giving away free coaching sessions every month to members of the Discord, so be sure to click the link in the description if you're interested. With all that being said, thanks again for watching. Until the next video, peace out.